Hello again, year two. So in our RE today, we have another parable story. It might be a story that you've heard from the Bible before, because it's a very popular parable. Can you remember what that word parable means? We looked at the parable of the talents, didn't we, last week? Yes, that's right. A parable is a story that Jesus told with a special message in it for us. A special message. I wonder what the message is in today's parable. It's got an interesting title, The Parable of the Prodigal Son. That's an unusual word, isn't it? Don't expect you've heard that word used very often. For an extra challenge, maybe you can find out what that word prodigal means and let me know on Tapestry later. Okay, are you sitting comfortably? If you are, I'm going to start reading the story now, so make sure you're ready. You can always find it in your Bible, okay, as well, if you've got a Bible at home, the parable of the prodigal son. There was once a man who had 2 sons. One day, the youngest son asked his father for his inheritance money. So this man is very rich, okay, and his son has said, can I have my inheritance money, which he'd normally get when he was a lot older. Okay. The father thought about it and divided what he owned between them, giving his sons their inheritance. So we've got an older son and a younger son, and his father has shared out his money equally between them. The youngest son moved far away, and very soon he spent all of his money. He was very hungry and had no place to live, so he decided to get a job. He was given a job feeding pigs, but no one gave him anything to eat. The son was very sad and very sorry for what he had done. That's important, children. He was very sorry. Back home, even his father's hired men were fed well. Hired men are just people that work for his father. He decided to go back home, say sorry, and ask his father for a job as a servant. So he's going to show his father how sorry he was for wasting all that money by asking for a job as his servant. When the father saw his youngest son returning, he was filled with great joy and ran to greet his returning son. He hugged and kissed the boy. The father dressed him up in the best robe, some new sandals, and put a ring on his finger. The father was so happy that his son had returned that he threw a great feast to celebrate. So children, they had a massive party. While the younger brother had been away, the older brother had been working hard for his father, and he had saved all his inheritance, so he hadn't gone and spent all of his. When he heard that his brother had returned with nothing and a great feast was being thrown for him, he felt very angry and jealous. But the father did not want this son to be jealous and angry. We must celebrate and rejoice, he told his older son, because it as if this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found. So, what is the message of Jesus in this parable? Have a little think, children. The picture might help you. What is the message? Have you figured it out? Yes, the father in the story is just like God the Father. And God the Father welcomes everyone back, even if they make the wrong choices. When they say sorry, he welcomes them back. He is so pleased that they have been found and gone back onto the right path to make the wise and right choices. So the message is clear. If we make the wrong choice and we're sorry, we will be forgiven. So how can we show someone we're sorry? Little thing, we all make mistakes and do things that aren't always right. It can be hard to say sorry and apologise for what we've done. But can you think of any ideas of how you could show you're sorry? The son in the story shows he's sorry by saying he's sorry. And for saying, he says, I'm happy to be your servant. I don't deserve to be your son. But of course, his father forgives him and welcomes him back with a huge feast and party. Sometimes when we're sorry, we could write a letter, couldn't we? Like the little boy in the picture here, a sorry letter. Or we could just say sorry and give the person whose feelings we've hurt a hug. So what do I want you to do as a follow-up task? Well, I want you to be able to retell this story. So I've got a little activity prepared, and if you've got a printer, then please print off these pictures. But if you don't, you can just draw me a storyboard of pictures that retell the story that we've listened to today, the parable of the prodigal son. So I've jumbled up the pictures on the screen here and on your storyboard worksheets. You've got to try and figure out the right order. So if you think you can do that independently now, then please stop the video and go and have a go at it. And if you can write underneath each picture what's going on and the message that Jesus is giving us through this parable underneath, that would be brilliant. Okay, for those of you that might need a little bit of help ordering the pictures, I'll show you the correct order now. So the first picture is the father giving the two sons their money, their inheritance. Second picture is the youngest son who's gone off and spent it all and wasted it all, and he's got no money left, nowhere to live. So he gets a job feeding the pigs, and they seem to eat better than he does. So he decides to say sorry and go home. And his father is so happy to see him. He hugs him and he gets new clothes and a ring and a party. But his older brother, who hasn't wasted his money, is a little bit angry and jealous about this. So his father explains, no, we must rejoice because your brother was lost to me and now he's been found. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Don't forget the message in there for all of us. We say sorry, we'll be forgiven and welcomed back. And God the Father will be rejoicing when we make the right choices again.